front. Now we're going to see a little four-wide action. Crazy out of the triangle.
Oh, he gets into the lead under record.
3x3 entering four.
3 deep. At the flag stand, side by side, it's going to be Jason Maines winning it at Talladega.
Hello everybody and welcome into the PGR Thursday Night Heat Series here live at Talladega Superspeedway. Getting ready for the LCQ before we're going to head to the feature event tonight. And I believe we have another sold out field. If not, it is borderline closed because it looks like we have 30 drivers in the LCQ as it stands right now. A couple of those might have been spectators, not sure. But either way, let's get right down trackside and get it started. Joining me in the booth tonight is co-host Matthew Baker. He will be joining us here in just a moment. But rolling right on into your starting grid here tonight. Just give me just a second to make sure we got everything lined up correctly and pulled up here. And as these guys get ready to roll off, we are going to take just a quick break to make sure we have everything right. We'll be right back. All right, starting us off on the pole tonight is going to be Richard Elliott for JBR E-Racing. To his outside, how about Cody Atchley? And by the way, we got a ton of new drivers tonight, and you're probably going to be realizing that when we go through the starting grid here, a lot of guys that we don't normally say their names here because we haven't seen them here before. Sean Corbett's going to be starting in third. It's going to be Mark Vondell from McCall Motorsports to his outside in fourth. Row 3 is going to be Christian Sanford and Chris Blanchard. Bradley Steffen starts 7th, Brock Westmoreland in 8th, William Fox in 9th, and Joey Duchette rounding out your top 10. Moving on back to 11th, it's going to be Tristan Cotton. James Polsky rolls off in the 12th position. Row 7 is going to be DJ Thomas and Joshua Penland. Joshua Robinson and Jeremy Osborne make up row 8. It's going to be Jonathan Cadell starting 17th with Chad Ross to his outside in 18th. Dylan Blackwell, another new guy in here tonight, will start in 19th, and it's going to be Michael Aminti, I believe I said his last name right. He'll be rolling off in the 20th position. William H. Scott and Tucker McClendon making up row 11. Danny Barnes and Jessica Childs in row 12. Going to be Andrew Zonto and Ace Wells, row 13. Michael Mata in 27th. Michael Wiseman in 28th. Steve Korsek for Dale Cup starting in 29th. This will be interesting. We'll see if he can make his way in. And Philip Wilkinson rounding out your top 30. So, yeah, we had a sold-out field. Before we get any farther into that, though, looking at your race info here for the LCQ, as always, 15 laps, 60% fuel, but these guys will be able to make it all the way, bearing no cautions. It is going to be unlimited tires, 1 faster pair in this LCQ, fixed setups, and then 3 green-white checkers if we were to need them. I believe it is 3, unless I have something incorrect there. Weather outside, though, here going to start us off. 108-degree track temp, not too bad. Handling shouldn't be too big of an issue. Partly cloudy skies, winds at 2 miles an hour, 50% humidity, and 82 degrees outside today. Welcome in again to everybody that's joining in, and welcome into our co-host, Matthew Baker, who I believe has joined us now in the booth. Baker, getting ready to go green. How are we feeling tonight?
I mean, just, 60 trucks out here tonight. We got 30 in the LCQ. Really excited for this. A lot of new names like you were talking about out here. Excited to see what they can do, but a familiar face up front in Richard Elliott. He got it done last time in the LCQ, transferred in. Watch for him to dominate up front here early.
Yeah, one of the guys that when he started here, he's gotten a lot of practice. Now, he does have a teammate joining him back in the field tonight in Joshua Watson, but to get with his teammate, he's going to have to make it through to that feature event. Got to think that's a little extra motivation, but we'll have to see if it's enough. All right, here we go. Richard Elliott in the inside, Cody Atchley on the outside. Green flag is in the air. We're racing at Talladega. And leading him back to the checkered flag, the lead lap 1 is going to be Richard Elliott with a push from Sean Corbett. Cody actually still on the outside. No surprise to see Mark Vondel up there. He actually got a win this Tuesday, and Tuesday Night Thunder, from what I heard, had a pretty good performance. We'll see what he can do out here tonight. A lot of bumping and banging going on. Christian Sanford, Baker, what about his win last week? That was a crazy one. We'll see if he can get another one this week. Boy, what a way for the rookie to start his first race last week. Did find himself in the LCQ, and now he finds himself 3 wide, as that is going to be Stefan going through the middle. Bradley Stefan. And, now the 12 off Mark Vondel's bumper. That was close. He's trying to find his spot in line. Vondel's going to have to go high, and that is not the move Vondel wanted to make, but it was a good call.
Vondel's going to have to shuffle way to the back. That's unfortunate for him. The bottom line's really going to roll here. Yeah, we talked about Christian Sanford last week, winner in the LCQ, trying to get I don't know if he's trying to get some extra cheddar or just messed up on the queue, but we see 4 wide towards the back, towards the Trans-5. Oh my goodness, they are beating and banging each other on the top lanes. They're going to wreck. Mark Vondel into the wall. It's like the car on the inside of Vondel just missed the corner.
And I just realized that I had had my sound, I think it was muted. So let me know in the chat if I was indeed muted for those first couple laps. We still saw the racing be phenomenal nonetheless. And just talking about how 4 wide, it's not going to work eventually, and it did not work there. And yeah, in fact, I think that my mic was turned off from when we had went green. But there we go. It should be fixed now. I know Baker was on, so he was good there, but apologies for that. The good thing is we had the quick caution, so we were able to catch it pretty quick. There's the hit for Andrew Zonto, and it just looked like 4 wide. Just, guys kind of learning about each other, Baker. We wouldn't necessarily expect a 4 wide to work too well, and it just didn't there. Looks like is that the 50? No. Can't tell what number that is. The 33 maybe? The Bass Pros truck comes up a little bit into Mark Vondel, and then the contact occurs after that. Go back, take another look. Baker's mom says we can't hear y'all. Can hear you now. Yep. Sure enough, just forgot to unmute the mic there off the start. A little bit of a chaotic start, so again, apologize for that. But we should be good to go. Had a caution here on just the 3rd lap. So definitely didn't miss too much. And watch here, the 33. I think it's the 30. Either way, it's James Polsky. It's the 93, excuse me. And watch here, just sliding up a little bit, gets into Mark Vondel. That sends him up the track. Chad Ross nowhere to go as they were all 4 wide at the time. And then Andrew Zonto, he's going to get the worst of this one. Watch this. The 17 up into the 56, up into the 06, who kind of gets pinched up along the wall. See, it breaks the suspension. He goes for a pretty long slide. Give you a couple more views of it. There's one from the roll bar for Andrew Zonto.
Yeah, it just seemed like the product of 4 wide racing, and someone not holding their line in the corner. It's unfortunate, but these guys will learn for sure.
They certainly will. You like to see the hard racing early, though. And everybody looks like they're going to get a feel for each other. We don't really have, usually we don't anyway, but especially with all the new people, we don't have a lot of teammates together in this LCQ. So everybody's just trying to find who they like the best, who they feel they can push the best, or whoever they feel is pushing them the best. And after that first caution, how it's going to shuffle out for your top 10, it's going to be Richard Elliott leading with Cody Ashley in 2nd, Sean Corbett 3rd, Chris Blanchard in 4th, Christian Sanford 5th, Bradley Stefan in 6th, William Fox 7th, Joey Duchette in 8th, Joshua Penland 9th, and Tristan Cotton, last man in the transfer position right now, rounding out your top 10. Remember, it's 40 for the total feature. The top 30 already qualified in, and we had 60 people. So 30 guys in this race, but only the top 10 are going to make it through. That's going to keep the racing fierce. However, it should keep it clean because we added a new rule this week, and your race control, Matthew Baker, has a little bit more on that.
Yeah, so we have 10 transfer, but we have 12 spots open to get into the feature. That way, if there's any accidents at the last lap after the white flag there towards the transfer positions in the top 10, they cause the wreck, they're going to be sent to the end of line and they will not make the race. It will be disqualified, and then the next truck up will move into that position. So you definitely, if you're in the top 10, you're going to want to take it easy, even though if you're going for that 40 bucks, it's going to be 40 bucks to the LCQ winner tonight, so doubling your money. It's good to race for that, but still, you know, you got to get into the big show.
Certainly agree. You got to go for it, but in a little bit of a conservative manner. You got to be making the right moves, not necessarily just the move that you think is going to work if it's not there. But I definitely like that role. I think it's going to make some things exciting. And man, how about the start to this race? 4 wide. Did not think we'd see that in the LCQ, much less on the third lap of the LCQ. These guys were on it right from the jump. Now, interesting story here about one of your guys in the top 10 right now, and that is 4th place runner, Mr. Christopher Blanchard, Chris Blanchard, as you will. You see this big setup he's got. We talked about it a couple times on camera, and actually we'll show you here. We'll show you him on camera in just a moment. He broke his, I believe he broke it. I'm not sure if he broke it or got something in it. Either way, he absolutely tore up his thumb when I believe he got hit by Jeff Merck on track in an incident here pretty recently. And either way, yeah, it was pretty brutal looking, Baker. I mean, I wouldn't expect to see something that bad from a sim rig, but we always talk about some of these guys have some crazy setups, and Chris certainly got a pretty good little injury from it there. And there is a look at Chris's sim rig. I mean, look at this thing. It moves around up and down, left and right whenever he's driving. Joshua Watson, you see him there. We'll see him later tonight. He's keeping close tabs on the leader right now, as that is his teammate, Richard Elliott. He's hoping to see him advance tonight. And Ashburn Billa, he'll be in our feature, and he is carrying an onboard camera for us tonight. I think that's the first time Nash has been carrying one for us. And, of course, we're going to have to take a look here at your leader. There is Mr. Richard Elliott, rocking the Ghost Racing Network paint scheme. He's ready for the green flag to come back out. He continues to get more and more experience, and now he's starting to kind of be the class of these LCQs, and eventually you got to feel like that's going to lead to maybe being the class of the big field. But I don't know. We always seem to have the big heavy hitters in that big field. That's what always keeps it exciting. But we have seen 2 underdog winners already in Trevor Osronoff and Christian Sanford. So you just never know, and we're not going to know here tonight either. Looking for Steve Korsek, but he is not on track, so he must have had an issue. Doesn't look like we'll get to see him in tonight's feature. Nonetheless, Richard Elliott, Cody Apsley, the 2 that led it to green, are going to lead us back to green here. It's going to be 9 laps to go. Green flag is back in the air at Talladega.
Good jump on the bottom. No organization, though. You're going to see a lot more organization up top as you see the purple car 4th in line slot in. That's, oh, Blanchard's going to split out 3 wide. This is going to give the bottom a huge run.
And it looks like he's going to get a take or 2, and Bradley Steffen. That's going to really help Chris Blanchard here. That's going to hurt the middle. Cody Apsley, one of the rookies here, is not going to get much help, but Chris drops back down to the middle. Now the 12 has no choice but to push. A lot of bobbing and weaving going on mid-pack, but they start to settle down now. Richard Elliott and Sean Corbett still pushing ahead on that inside line with Christian Sanford. You know, he would like to get clear, but keep another eye on the 16th truck. I believe that might be Joey Duchette. He's having a good run here on the inside.
Great organization on the bottom, but you see Sanford getting a great push from Blanchard up top. Christopher's really improved over these last couple of months, really running up front, staying up front. He's off strategy most times when he's in the feature, but he's still up front nonetheless and making a good run here in the LCQ.
And out back, we had some 3 wide. We still have some 3 wide as Mark Vondell got a little loose off the front bumper of Brock Westmoreland. They're both going to jump down into the inside of Jonathan Cadell. Chad Ross on the inside there. He's trying to move his way up through the field. Just in front of him is Tucker McClendon. And Tucker likes being out here. It'd be good to see him advance. There goes Andrew Zonto through the middle of the pack. The 06 involved in that first wreck. He's got to recover in a hurry. But how about the big surge of momentum from the outside line? Ooh, Blanchard not quite clear. He had to think about that one twice. He's going to tuck back up to the top. And Bradley Steffen almost had some contact out back. That got a little hairy for just a moment. But they stick side by side off of 2. Still 3 wide out back, but all of a sudden, Richard Elliott trapped on the bottom. Baker, do you think he's still in position to stay there? Or does he have to maybe get a little bit more aggressive? Oh, we got one wrecking out back. Hold on just a second. Looks like it's just one truck. Jonathan Cadell in the 69. He's got some damage to the right front. Not sure what happened. Oh, they're still wrecking. What is going on here? Oh, he must have suspension damage. Looks like that was Tucker McClendon that had wrecked out back there. In 69.
Up front, it's getting hairy. They're 4 wide, splitting Sanford. Blanchard gets pushed down. He gets pushed back up in the high lane. I mean, they're beating and banging in the front. One gets turned down to the apron. They save it somehow. They're still trying to wreck. Oh my goodness, this is unbelievable.
There they go.
Oh, they're wrecking.
You knew it wouldn't last as soon as you saw him getting on the apron. Oh my goodness, we got one up in the... Holy moly. That was the 40 truck of Dylan Blackwell. I don't know how that truck even has anything left of it. He flipped into the catch fence, up into the air. Oh my goodness. Second caution of the night. He's going to have to tow immediately. Let's go back and take a look. I mean, things were just scattered here from about halfway down the backstretch, and the rest was history. Look out. I mean, we had 4. Who knows? We may have even had 5 wide in some areas. You just couldn't tell. These guys were going at it. And then finally here, I see 4. I didn't see 5. 12 gets down on the apron. And then it looks like there's some contact right there between the 93 of James Polsky and was that the 7 of Danny Barnes? It looked like it was. No, it might have been the 50. Let's see. Oh, the 58 actually. I take that back. So James Polsky gets together with the 58 truck of DJ Thomas. They get up. And then you see Danny Barnes, Andrew Zonto, the 21, all these guys with nowhere to go. And I watch the 40 truck right here. This is going to be a big hit for Dylan. Oh my goodness. I think he does about 3 back or front flips. Couldn't even tell. Through the catch fence before he comes back down. We got guys missing bumpers. Looks like William Scott was in it. The 45 of Sean Corbett, who had been having a good night. He was caught up. Certainly a big, big wreck right there. There it is. The big hit for the 40 truck. I mean, you had guys just piling in there trying to sneak through with just nowhere to go. Jeremy Osborne on the bottom. The 16 as well, also involved. A couple more angles of it. It just kind of like the first wreck. Just kind of looks like a mess. You know, everybody going for it. They know we don't have a lot of laps. Things starting to get a little crazy, a little out of hand, and eventually something's going to have to give, and it did into turn 3, and it gave out in a big way. Take 2 more views of it here from the fan cam, and then from the onboard for Dylan. And does anybody sneak through it? Man, it doesn't look like many. The 3 truck and maybe the 15 of Brock Westmoreland might have got through it. And I'll tell you what, if you did find a way to get through that wreck, you're going to be sitting in a pretty good position right here, because that took out probably about 3/4 of what we had for the field here tonight. And here's the final angle of it from Dylan Baswell. All right, Blackwell, excuse me. Here we go.
It's going to be a wild ride.
Oh, man, he almost got through it too, Baker. Almost, but, man, that was probably one of the worst wrecks we've seen here in the Thursday Night Heat Series in quite some time. He's going to need a fast pair, but the tow bill is what's going to hurt him right there. Probably going to cost him a lap, and with only what's going to probably be 3 laps to go when we go green, I don't think he's going to have enough time to get back up to the front or in transfer position, but you never know. Sometimes we see those crazy wrecks. Anything can happen, and it looks like Richard Elliott has been shuffled back to 7th. I don't think he was caught up in that wreck. He may have gotten slight damage or something here on the front of the hood. Ooh, yeah, right side's a bit crumpled. Not too bad. Don't think it's going to affect him as you look at the cockpit cam. Yeah, I think he'll be okay, especially in the draft. He knows he can't really risk pitting to fix it. His track position is just going to be too important at the end. But with 3 to go, Baker, we know it's relaxed cautions. And with the new rule, these guys, they really got to be careful, or just because you get in, you're not guaranteed.
Yeah, definitely. You know, everyone from 15th on back is going to be racing their butts off trying to get to the front. But, you know, they caused something back there. We're not throwing a caution. It's relaxed yellows, and this will be a green-white checkered. So we're just trying to get to the end of this, get to the feature. So if you can get through cleanly from 20th, try it. It's going to be hard. But if you're in the top 10, you better stay 2x2 and hope for the best.
And looking to see if the lights are going to go off this time. Sure enough, they are. That means 1 lap to go. 1 lap to go before we take the green, that is. Cody actually on the outside, keep an eye on him. He's been having some pretty good runs. Saw him in the race the other night, the PGR warm-up race, and he showed a lot of potential. Doesn't have any friends right now, but I think he'll make some pretty quick. with how fast he's driving, guys are going to see that. They're going to want him behind him or in front of him. Or they're going to want to either be behind or in front of him. We got one blinking a little bit further back. Looks like just behind the 28 of Joshua Penland. And in between the 3. Can't tell who that is. We got a couple blinking right now unless I'm... No, that's Andrew Zonto. And the 06, he had pretty heavy damage. Yeah, he's blinking hard. Hopefully that doesn't affect any of these guys. Too bad. Long single file line of guys who had to come in and either fix that damage in extra time or just wanted to top off on fuel. But fuel shouldn't be an issue. I want to go back and check something here for Brock Westmoreland. Did he make it through this wreck? Oh, not quite. Thought he might have been the red and white truck that got through. He was unfortunately not. So you see he gets back up there. He used his fast repair. And, you know, a lot of events, Baker, we know in their LCQ or heat events, they don't do fast repairs. But, man, I know there's pros and cons to it. But in this case, if we didn't have it, we would, by this point, probably already have our 10 that we're going to advance. And that'd be the only trucks left in the field.
Definitely.
Okay, so Chris Blanchard going to be starting on the inside. Bradley Steffen on the outside. Row 2 is going to be Christian Sanford. And the 12 of Cody Atchley. Moving on back to row 3, it's going to be James Polsky and Tristan Cotton. Joshua Penland and Richard Elliott, 7th and 8th. Andrew Zonto somehow in 9th. But, man, that truck is heavily, heavily damaged, and he does not have a fast repair. So he didn't really have much of a choice but to stay out. And Mark Vondell currently in that last transfer position, but Michael Bada, Ace Wells, and Joey Duchette all right there on the cut line looking to sneak in here in the last 3 laps. All right, here we go. Green flag is back in the air. It's a good jump for the inside line. The outside of Bradley Steffen with a better push from the 12 of Cody Atchley. He would like to have gotten clear. They're down into turn 1. He's not going to be able to do it, and Cody gets split again. This is going to send him to the top. He's going to need help sooner. He's going to go all the way to the back. Blanchard still leads on the bottom, but Christian Sanford looking to get him. We're going to have another wreck here. We got one truck in the wall. Can the rest of the pack miss it? They do. Cody keeps it up along the wall. Everybody was able to sneak by that one. And we stay side by side up front. We still got one truck off. That's the 93 along the wall, but no caution. We stay green.
I had itchy finger there ready to throw the yellow if he was coming back down, but he stayed up on the wall. Relax yellows like we talked about. And Sanford leading this top lane again.
You like to see him stay up on the wall there, though. That was James Polsky. Gets it back the right direction now. Way to be a good sport about it, James. Tough break, but we certainly appreciate it. The 51 of Christian Sanford now leads the top. He was able to jump up. Blanchard on the bottom. 2 laps to go. Final chance for a caution right here. Richard Elliott still trying to hang on the inside, but the outside's got another surge. Does Christian Sanford think about dropping down where it's a little bit safer? Man, he's getting all he can handle right now from Bradley Steffen. Watch out, here comes the third lane. Corbett thought about going to the top. Somebody's going to beat him to it. We got 3 trucks up top, but the man leading it is heavily damaged right now. Not sure how long and how well that line's going to work. And can't tell who that is. That's the 16 truck. Oh, big wash up on the bottom for Chris Blanchard. He goes around, back up into the pack. This is going to be another big wreck. Caution is out. The 16 is in it. Back down he goes. This is probably going to be the big one here tonight. For whatever we had left, back up the track goes the 69 for another hard hit. And so close, but it's going to take out a lot in this one.
Big wreck out of 4. I was hoping we were going to make it there, but yeah. It's why we got this LCQ. It's to weed out the people that aren't really holding their line. We invite them to come back, but they just need a little more practice, and it shows for sure.
And that was the 9 of Chris Blanchard who got spun first. Did he get maybe a bit of a big push, or did he get a line here? Oh, Christian Sanford, there might have been a little right rear neck code right there. Let's go back, take a look from the chopper cam. Was there actual contact here? Watch, you see at this point, actually, here's what we're going to do. Looking from, go to TV follow here. No contact right here. So this is where the first move's going to be. There's no contact from the 7 truck of Tristan Cotton on Chris Blanchard. So he's not getting pushed. And does he just wash up by himself? Or does Christian come down? Looks like Christian's coming down for a side draft. And some slight right rear neck code. Sucks the 9 up into Christian. That sends Christian up. Blanchard tries to pull back down here to keep his position. And the 7 just wasn't quite able to check up. Time was there. That sends Blanchard up the track. And that is when the rest of the field all piles in with just nowhere to go. Show you it from a couple different angles. There's Mark Von Dell. Front end's gone on his truck. 16 piled in. I think Richard Elliott got turned, but you saw him still rolling at the end there, so I don't think he got bad damage from it. Take a view from the... Actually, let's look from TV1 right here. Boom. There's a 59 of Mark Von Dell. Oh my goodness, out back. William Fox with a big hit. The 3 truck trying to sneak by, just not quite able to make it at least undamaged. I believe that may have been... Who was the 3 car? I know we've seen... Again, still learning some of these guys. We've got so many new ones out here tonight. But Bradley Steffen, out of all of them, snuck through and is going to be scored as your current leader. We're going to take one more look at this from the wall cam before we head back up front. The 40 truck has had a rough night. Dylan has been involved in a couple of wrecks, and it hurts him again here. All right, so as we go back live and we go up front, Bradley Steffen, as we said, is going to be scored as your leader right here for this hopefully final restart of the LCQ. Christian Sanford in second, Tristan Cotton in third. Richard Elliott fourth, Sean Corbett in fifth. Michael Wiseman now, he's made his way into the top 10, actually top 5 in fifth. He's up 22 positions from where he started, so he basically did go from the back to the front. William H. Scott in 7th, Ace Wells in 8th, Danny Barnes in 9th, and DJ Thomas currently the last man in the transfer position right now. Hey, Tucker McClendon in the chat. We saw him in the race earlier. Had a couple of rough breaks, and of course his race did come to an end because of those breaks, but he is in chat watching with the $10 super chat. It says, rough night, y'all keep killing it. Well, thank you, Tucker. We certainly wish we could have saw you in the feature. We like to see you out here, but man, we certainly appreciate the $10 super chat. And again, glad that you're out here watching. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of the broadcast. Tucker McClendon with the big $10 super chat to get us started. All right, Baker, if we can make it one time around, we won't see any cautions here. What do you think? You think these guys can get it completed here on the first green, white, checkered?
There's not going to be any cautions after this one, so we'll see how it plays out, but no cautions moving forward.
Okay. Was that, and just out of my curiosity up here in the booth, because I might have missed something, is this a rule going forward now, or was that established for this week?
No, so we're pressed on time in the session time, so we're just trying to move it along here in the heat race. They got about 3 minutes left in the session, so.
Oh, so it is certainly going to be close. Hopefully here, these guys can keep it clean, but again, remember that rule. If you cause the wreck in this last restart here, anywhere in this last restart, and you advance, you're not going to advance. So these guys all know that, have it in the back of their mind. They got to keep it clean. We got quite a few damaged trucks at this point as well. So you know that some of these trucks aren't going to be able to keep up, especially with the new package, the newer package that we've been talking about for a little while now. It usually takes about a lap or two to kind of get up to speed and for everybody to get grouped back up. Joshua Watson says full send lull. Joshua continuing to hope that his teammate here, Richard Elliott, can advance through. Richard been having a pretty good night so far. Seems like everything's been going right. Sits in 4th right now. And don't forget, the winner of this event, Baker, I know we had a full field tonight. I'm not sure if the payouts are more, but I believe it's $30.
Yeah, so the LCQ is going to be $40 for the winner, and then we'll go over the payouts whenever we take the green flag for the feature, but they are definitely getting increased, at least $100 all the way up to 7th place.
Man, think about that. $20 to get in the race, and you can make 5 times your money for finishing in the top 7. That is crazy, especially 40 trucks. And I think the payouts will probably go back to the top 10 at that rate from what I'm thinking. Even if it's close to the top 10, almost 25% of the feature tonight going to be going home with some money in pocket. Again, the PGR Thursday Night Heat Series every Thursday night here on Ghost Racing Network. If you're interested in joining, the link is always going to be in the description. All right, here we go. Final restart for the LCQ. Who's going to go home with the money and who is going to make it to the big race? Green flag is back in the air. The 89 of Bradley Steffen off to the races. He gets a big jump. Maybe too big of a jump here. He's going to have to do some blocking. Back down to the inside goes the 89 truck. Here comes Christian Sanford up top. Richard Elliott wants to help him, but they just don't seem to have any help right now. The outside's going to fall here, but now here comes the cavalry, the 3 truck, with a little bit of a run. Everybody's starting to tuck back in line. Nobody wants to commit to it just yet.
The bottom line really formed up. Santo blinked out a bunch, so it really cost that high line. So you see the first 5 really riding in line here. Sanford's trying to keep that middle line rolling. Richard Elliott may jump up here. He's going to risk it to get up there. Pull Sanford along. They're 3 wide, all towards that transfer position.
I like the call. Richard Elliott going for the big money. He's also kind of borderline of that transfer spot. Jeremy Osborne, the last truck in, but they are all 3 wide for it. So that's going to change here in a hurry. As it does, the white flag is in the air. One more time around. Can Richard Elliott steal it? They are 4 wide out back. Everybody trying to hang on as they get back down to 3-4 again. 16 up into the 3. They still hold on. More contact. This is not going to make it all the way around. It could mess up transfer positions. They are still forward. Now back to 3 wide as they race down the backstretch.
Oh, big blocking going on. They're shuffling out 4 wide.
Wrecking out
Oh, they
back.
all get thrown down.
Wrecking out back. We'll see if that affects the transfer spot. But up front, the race is still on. The 51 of Christian Sanford leads Richard Elliott. Elliott might have a shot at one more move, but he's going to have to jump up if he gets clear. As soon as he gets it, he's not. The 16's able to hang tough. Could we see Joey Duchette maybe steal it in his first LCQ? Sanford on the bottom with one more big push from Elliott. It's not going to be enough top. Now the 0-2 jumps high. Does he get enough of a line? It's not going to be enough. Christian Sanford wins the LCQ, and he will advance to the feature. And it looks like Jeremy Osborne brings home the 10th position. What a crazy finish that we saw there. But glad that, for the most part, the front 10 were able to keep it clean. Let's go back and take a look here before session advances. Checkered flag up front. And actually, at this point, everybody up here pretty much was in your top 10 after they had wrecked out back. So they didn't have to worry about if they wrecked. Elliott's going to make the move right here at the end. I thought maybe it would be enough, just was not quite. And there's the win for Christian Sanford. I mean, it was not by much, but it was all he needed. Probably about half a truck length. Nicely done, fellas. All right, so with that, it is going to put us into the warm-up. Before I guess we head to our quick break, let's talk about the results there for your I forget what I was going to say. The heat event, LCQ, excuse me. I'm not sure why I forgot for just a moment. And it looks like we do not have the results shown for it just yet. So these guys are going to head into warm-up. That means we are going to head into a break. We will be right back with the feature event here tonight at Talladega for the PGR Thursday Night Heat Series. Stick with us. front. Now we're going to see a little four-wide action.
Crazy out of the triangle.
Oh, he gets over into the lead on the wreck.
3x3 entering 4.
3-2.
At the flag stand, side by side, it's going to be Jason Maines winning it at Talladega.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Talladega Superspeedway. Getting ready for the feature event here for tonight's Thursday Night Heat Series presented by PGR. Let's get right down in it and get to your starting grid for the feature event here tonight. Kevin Freese going to be starting second, actually, as I had that mixed up for just a second. The pole sitter, though, is Alex Hill. Got a penalty last week. We'll talk more about that as the race goes on. But focusing on this week for Alex, he is in that final battle for the bracket challenge with Jason Maines. Winner of that going to be going home with quite a bit of money. Kevin Freese going to be starting on the outside pole in second. Andrew Navarro third. Jason Maines fourth. Ken McCall Jr. and his teammate David Sheets making up row 3. It's going to be NBG's Cody Nagels in 7th. Nash Brambilla starts 8th. Dylan Basson in 9th. And Gabe Butler rounding out your top 10.
Josh McCullough in 11th. Kenneth Stamper for KSR in 12th. Vicente Guerrero in 13th. 14th, you got Jeff Merck for MBG. John Ellis Jr. 15th. Michael Triscaro in 16th. Garrett Maines again with a low qualifying effort in 17th. Mike Davenport in 18th. Dustin Carruthers in 19th. And Dylan Jones in 20th.
John Ward starts 21st with his teammate John Mullihan is outside in 22nd. Daniel Eberhardt and Trevor Osronoff making up row 12. J.R. Miller and Jacob Emery making up row 13. Looks like it's going to be Jamie Rourke in 27. Joshua Watson back in the field tonight starts 28th. Ryan Bass 29th. And the last person advancing on qualifying time, Heath Job in 30th.
Christian Sanford, our LCQ winner in 31st. Richard Elliott in 32nd. Bradley Stefani in 33rd. 34th, Joey Doucette. DJ Thomas in 35th. Michael Mata in 36th, one of the new guys out here. Joshua Robinson, another new guy, 37th. William H. Scott in 38th. Cody Ashley in 39th. Jeremy Osborne in 40th. And then you have Michael Amenity and Ace Wells are the ones that got DQ'd at the end.
And that is simply, I'm assuming, just because they did not make it. They didn't do anything wrong in this case. Just part of the way the new rule is set up. They did not advance. They weren't in the top 10 for the feature event. All right, or for the LCQ event, excuse me. All right, here we go. Pace car is going to pull off. A lot of money on the line. Baker, tonight we had a sold-out field. Alex Hill is going to lead him to green with a chance at winning not only this, but also the bracket here tonight. He goes head-to-head with Jason Maines, and we'll talk more about that. Green flag is in the air. We are racing at Talladega. And leading us lap 1 here is still going to be Alex Hill. He is racing Jason Maines for that bracket. As we talked about, Jason within arm's reach right now. He sits just behind his teammate Kevin Freese on the outside. And I'm thinking the Maines boys may have packed a little extra punch with a couple extra teammates here tonight, including Kevin Freese. Of course, they know they can bring home a little bit extra money all for themselves here if they can get Jason ahead of Alex Hill tonight. All right, there's the third lane. Garrett Maines, he's already trying to work his way to the front. He is pushing his teammate John Ellis Jr. right now. Still in a newer paint scheme. Jeff Merck for NBG is tagging along. But what about the big break we're seeing in the bottom line right now, Baker? Looks like it's starting to close up now, but that's going to hurt their momentum.
Absolutely. You see the outside really form. Just so you talk about that, almost 3 trucks are going to clear. 2 trucks at least. Kevin Freese going to clear to the bottom. He doesn't. He stays up. He's going to take Jason with him. They both make clear and try and undercut Navarro here. 4 trucks clear. Nash clears as well. Holy cow.
Navarro, no teammates out here tonight. He had to jump up, and now he jumped back down. He is trying every move that he can to keep himself out in front. We are expecting pit stops tonight, but we're trying a different strategy because every time we start to talk about when they're going to be and what happens, we don't get them. So tonight we'll talk about them if somehow they happen. But for now, we're going to keep all eyes up front where Andrew Navarro leads Kevin Freese. Jason Maines now leads the middle. And here comes Gabe Butler for Dale Cup on the top line.
Big move on the outside. You're going to have Ellis pushing with Garrett Maines behind. That's 3 very good trucks lined up on the outside. You see Kevin Freese pull up to his teammate Jason Maines. Sean Hill's able to get back to that back bumper and get in line with Andrew Navarro. As they're 3x3, Kevin Freese going to lead this lap. Gabe Butler with a great run on the outside here. I think we have a Dale Cup and MBG alliance here tonight. At least Gabe Butler. Steve Korsek had some internet issues, so look for him to be working with the 3 MBG boys tonight.
There's Daniel Eberhardt to the outside of Dylan Jones. You know he's hungry to get a win tonight. Michael Triscaro back there as well. Nash Brent Billa in the 87 truck. He sits in the middle of 3 wide right now. Not really anywhere to go. Oh, big stack up in the back. Everybody's going to catch their breath here. Hold their breath, rather, for just a moment. They all do save it. We did talk about Nash, one of the guys tonight that is carrying an onboard camera for us here tonight. There he is as he sits in the middle of the pack. You know it's got to be nerve-wracking, Baker, but everybody looks really calm and smooth, even though they're 3 wide. None of the moves really look super risky to me as of right now. They got a little crazy there for a moment, but Navarro nice and controlled up to the middle line. That opens it back up to Alex Hill on the bottom with Ken McCall Jr. pushing. Oh, Ken to the inside.
Oh, he thinks that great move. That's a veteran move by Kenneth to back out. He put Alex in a bad position. He knows it's early in the race, backs off, shows grace. Alex has really not been making friends this past week, so it's good to see Kenneth show the cooler head there.
Yeah, and I wonder if maybe he didn't mean to get under there, got a little bit of a push, or if he, was just trying to prove a point to Alex on whether or not he felt he jumped up a little too high there. But yeah, as you said, nice job there cutting him a break, keeping us green, and we almost had one on the wall there. I think it might have been John Ward in the 92. But he was able to keep it together. A little bit of a single file line going out back here. Joshua Watson and Richard Elliott, the 2 teammates, separated by 1 truck right now. They're trying to get together. They are just behind this mess of 3 wide. And, Richard Elliott might be telling his teammate, hey, man, the best strategy that's worked for me is just being aggressive and going for these things from the get-go. Because it looks like Joshua Watson and Richard Elliott are trying to claw their way up through the field. But they still have a lot of work to do. As Watson down to the apron. Looks like he is going to save it here. Gets back up on track. A little bit of a miscue there. But he's going to be able to keep the draft and his teammate.
Yeah, great save from him. Getting back up from the apron up. Everyone is reporting that they're hot. The high lane, the middle lane, the top lane. Jason's backing off. He's going to let Kevin in line with Andrew. I think that was more designed more than him being hot. But, people are going to lie all the time to try and get their teammates up front. Everyone does it, but, it's not really race manipulation. Jason was getting hot for sure, but Kenneth is boiling on the bottom. He's been on the back bumper of Sean for the past 3 laps.
And that's why we talk about with this new package, it's so crucial that you just can't sit in a lane anymore. We used to see the general goal was get to the front and drop to the bottom, kind of hold it there. Maybe you'd have to worry about 1 or 2 guys eventually getting in front of you. But the temps, it just was different. With this new package, you have to switch lanes when you get the runs. If you don't, that lane is eventually going to lose all the progress, and it certainly makes the racing itself a lot more interesting. But at the same time, Baker, if I'm in a position where if the guy in front of me can clear low and that will give me the lead on that lane, I'm the hottest truck on the field. You got to drop immediately or I'm going to blow up. I mean, that's just the mentality these guys are going to have. But right now, everybody doing a good job seeming to manage the temps. Definitely not the hottest track temp we've seen, but you can see how that inside turn.
Darnell's going to get turned by...
Into the middle of the pack he goes. That's going to be a big mess. His teammate Garrett Maines is in it. Everybody's sliding in. They're still wrecking out back. Trying to sneak through it. Looked like it was Bradley Steff, and that is a big, big wreck. And I think it's going to be easier here to tell you the trucks that were not involved. Oh, my. Did not expect to see a wreck that big that early. Let's go back and take a look as Paker's going to have a mess on his hands trying to clean this one up in race control. So this happens at a turn 4. It's 2 teammates. There you go. Let's see how this forms up. Does Jason offset John, or is there a little net code? What goes on here? Oh, you see Jason. It's sure enough some right rear net code right here. Looks like Jason Maines. Looks like Navarro was sneaking up. I'm not sure if John was trying to dodge that, but I don't think he was, as much as it looks like there was indeed some right rear net code right here from Garrett Maines. Just a little bit of a slight offset push from Jason. Not bad. Maybe shoves his teammate up just slightly, and then, man, that netcode, it seems like we get one of these each race, and that was a bad one to have because it was right in the middle of the field. There goes Merck. And then everybody just piling in here with nowhere to go. I think Richard Elliott may have snuck through it. But, man, you talk about guys just piling in. There was a ton of that going on right there. Let's take a couple looks at it here. The fans had a good view of this one out of turn 4. John Ellis Jr., we had one. Garrett Maines, he got a big hit in the back. He's going to have some damage to the front as well. John Ellis Jr. gets clobbered a couple times. That's probably going to be a fast repair for the 21 truck, as I think the suspension's going to be broke. This is actually going to make a lot of guys probably have to use their fast repair way earlier than they wanted to. And on the flip side of the bad news of that part, the good news, I guess, is maybe that keeps everybody a little bit calmer with as many guys as not going to have fast repairs. Let's look at this from the TV follow cam where we first saw it. And there it was. Cody Nagels. Yeah, oh my goodness, the JBR E-Racing teammates. I do not know how they snuck through it, but they followed each other and it worked out perfectly. Joshua Watson, I think, gets the lead from it. Let's watch Richard Elliott here. This will give you a great view of both of them on the cockpit view as he sneaks through this. Watch this. Oh my goodness, you see his teammate Joshua Watson just slip through. Could not get much closer, but we always talk about it. Sometimes it just takes missing one big wreck. All of a sudden it gives you just a little bit of extra momentum. Kind of feel good. Hey, I missed that wreck. Maybe it's meant to be. And we'll see if it's meant to be here for Joshua Watson and his teammate. Speaking of Joshua Watson, he is now being scored as your current leader. 9 laps in here. Kevin Freeze in second. Andrew Navarro third. It's going to be Alex Hill in fourth. Jason Maines fifth. Gabe Butler sixth. John Mullahan in seventh. Kenneth Stamper eighth. Cody Ashley in ninth. And Sean Ward rounding out your top 10. There's Richard Elliott in 13th. In fact, let's see if we can bring him up for a quick word about that last wreck and how he feels about his chances here the rest of the way. Hey, Richard, this is Austin and Baker up in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Well, right now, well, I guess not right now, but the thing we're talking about to start is how in the world you and your teammate missed that last wreck. That was absolutely crazy. I mean, how do you even miss a wreck like that? Did you just follow your teammate? Did you guess? Did you know what was going to happen?
Just dodging vehicles. I got scraped on the left side a little bit. Just trying to dodge stuff coming around.
Might have got a little bit of damage, but again, with the wreck avoidance there, you're not going to have to worry about using a fast repair, as most of the field probably is after that wreck. Now, speaking of the teammate, this is the first weekend, I would say probably 3 or 4 weeks that we've seen you have a teammate out here tonight. You guys look good together so far, but how are you going to get back up there to your teammate? And when you do, what's the game plan moving forward?
We're just trying to stay up here at the front for now, and there's only 2 of us. If we can hook up, we're going to hook up. If not, we're just going to try and get the best finish we can. And a little side note, I forgot to uncheck my fast repair, and it used it for the scrapes on the side, I guess. So I don't have fast repair left.
Oh, man, that's a tough break. Oh, we hate to hear that, but hey, sometimes being aggressive and not worrying about that seems to be the best method. So we'll keep an eye on you the rest of the way. Good luck, and we'll see if we see hopefully both you and your teammate at the end of this thing.
Yep, hope so. Thanks.
And that was Richard Elliott. We're going to go ahead and slide him back down to his teammate Joshua Watson. You can catch those two in the Fast Track Sim Racing Cup Series on Mondays. Talk more about that. Baker, that last wreck, it was a big wreck, but I mean, after determining it, just looked like a little bit of right rear netcode to me.
Yeah, it looks like a little bit of an offset push from Jason gets John up the track a little bit. No harm, no foul. That wouldn't have been a wreck, but you know, the right rear netcode that we talk about all the time, it just caused it, and everyone else got wrecked because of it. So it's unfortunate. And then you had some arc braking in the back. They were issued an EOL for it, so. But no fault to the cause of caution there. That's just this netcode.
All right, let's take a look at some of the guys in chat that have joined here tonight that we didn't give a shout out to yet. Robert Miller, Kevin Nagels, Baker's mom, Robert Miller, Dottie, looks like of Gray 16 Voodoo, Andrew DeAugustino, and Tucker McClendon, of course, with the $10 super chat in the LCQ. Joshua Watson, Kevin Freeze, Ron Morris, Donalda Adams, and Steve Korsak all out here watching tonight. Hope you guys are having a good Thursday. Back into the restart zone. Green flag is back out. 11 of 40 laps completed. And it's another good start for Kevin Freeze. You see the two guys left in the bracket right there, Jason Maines and Alex Hill. They are both side by side, both in row 2, and both pushing on, well, Andrew Navarro, not really an NBG teammate, but I think they're kind of affiliated sometimes, so they might be working together tonight to help out Alex. And there's John Mullihan, third on the outside line. Got a couple guys going to pull off right here. Don't like what they're seeing. They're already 3 wide out back, Baker. That didn't take too long.
Yeah, it's really going to shuffle up that mid-pack. They may lose this front pack. This front pack has about 11 trucks. If they can all get in a line, they can try and get away.
Cody Nagels, Richard Elliott on the outside. Looks like Cody is going to jump high. Not sure if that was a bad push or if he's just trying to find a way to jump down in line here. He looks like he wants to go to the back. I don't think he likes what he is seeing right here. So that allows Elliott to drop back down into the draft. Jeff Merck, he tucks in line as well. They're starting to single file out. This one pack will catch back up pretty quick, but as you noted with that second pack that got really disorganized, they really need to figure it out shortly here because they are falling in a hurry. But there's some big hitters in that pack, being led right now by Mike Davenport. He's doing a heck of a job. He's got the 8 car just behind him. They're going to have to figure something out though in a hurry, Baker. They continue to fade here. It's almost over a second.
Really fading. Cody's 4 wide back there. I think his truck has some damage. I think he needed to repair it off. Didn't really think he had that much of a problem, and it turns out his truck does.
Kevin Freeze leading that outside. Andrew Navarro still on the bottom. Jason Maines second on the outside. It's going to be Alex Hill leading the inside. Caution's out. Let's go back, see where it's at here. Going to be in this third pack somewhere, got to assume. Oh, Mike Davenport. Looks like he just got that thing spun back around in the right direction after it's got some scuffs on the sides. Let's go back and take a look. 55. Oh, he got turned down to the inside here. Is there going to be some contact? Yeah.
Looks like he gets turned down to the inside, and then once he does, he comes back up into 3 trucks.
Yeah, it certainly does here. That's Dylan Basson. Dylan gets him pretty offset, it looks like, and then just kind of turns him around. Nothing Davenport could do when he was spinning on the apron. Those 3 trucks he hit somehow all saved it. Don't ask me how. It looks like that was David Sheets. Looks like the 42. And couldn't tell who else. 42, of course, Joshua Robinson. And was it Daniel Eberhardt? No, it's going to be the 03 of Ken McCall Jr. and Joshua Watson. I think they get slight damage. I think they're all okay. So not a big wreck, but it does draw the caution as he did spin back up into the field. Just looks like, a product of them falling back. Guy's going to be pushing extra aggressive. And, Baker just looks to me like Dylan got a little offset.
Yeah, it looks like he was getting a little bit of help from behind, but still, got to really back off there and not turn him.
And, hey, how about this, Baker? We just got a super chat from Mark Vondell, $25. Says, awesome job, Austin and Baker. And that is Mark Vondell's second super chat, yet I think he leads the board in total for total super chat at $50, as the last time he donated, I think, was $25 as well. Mark, man, I hated to see you not make it through the LCQ. Of course, join the McCall Motorsports teammates, but we appreciate you sticking around watching the broadcast. We're glad you're enjoying it, and that means a ton to us. Thank you so much for the $25 super chat.
Vondell, Mr. Moneybags over there after winning that Tuesday race. I was so happy to see him get that win on Tuesday. He had a heck of a push from Triscaro on the top lane. That top lane was going to all surge, but there's a wreck on the bottom lane, a little bit of checking up going on. Caused the whole wreck, but Vondell got escaped from McLean and was able to take that win there.
We don't get to talk about Mark Vondell enough in a lot of the races, but he really is one of the nicest guys you will find when it comes to the money racing community. And a big reason that sometimes, he gets the wins. He knows it's go time. That's why you see him get the wins. But a lot of the times when you see him maybe playing it safe is because he doesn't like to stir the pot as much as some of these guys in the sense of doing the crazy moves that can kind of piss people off. He likes to make sure he does all his moves in a smart way. Doesn't want to hurt anybody if they don't need to be hurt. But man, when he knows it's go time, he can show you what he can do. And you saw it there in the Tuesday night Thunder race. Wish I could have been broadcasting it to call it, but man, nonetheless, congrats to Mark. And again, thanks for the $25 super chat, Mark. That's going to get us a little bit amped up here as we get ready for this restart here. Let's go back live. In fact, Joshua McCall being scored as your leader now. Dustin Carruthers second. Michael Mata in third. Andrew Navarro fourth. Kevin Freeze in fifth. Alex Hill in sixth. And boy, these two seem to be like glue tonight, Baker. Jason Maines and Alex Hill, the two left in the bracket for the championship. They cannot seem to leave each other. Mullahan in eighth. Gabe Butler in ninth. And Bradley Steffen rounding at your top 10. And your biggest mover right now inside the top 10 is Michael Mata, sitting in third position in the 16. He is up, I think I just said it, 33 positions from where he started. That is absolutely insane for this early in the race to be up that many positions. He certainly got off to the races early. In fact, let's see. I don't think he's in the Discord, but if he was, I wanted to see if we could maybe pull him up right here. Doesn't look like he is. We do have some of the mains boys in here, though. Jason, of course, the guy trying to get the big money tonight, the extra money. Mains would like to sweep it. They're going up against NBG, McCall Motorsports. You can never forget about them. Jeremy Osborne, the only driver in here tonight representing Blind Squirrel Racing. And Joshua McCall leading for McCall Motorsports right now. Now looking at Joshua Watson, who had a little bit of damage from that last wreck. Don't think it was fast car worthy. He's lined up right behind his teammate here, Richard Elliott. So potentially look for them to go 3 wide right here. As crazy as these races can get sometimes, I always like the idea of if there's a lane open and you got people that you know are going to go with you, go to the front as soon as you can and try to stay there. Could still see a green flag pit stop, though. We'll have to see. What do you think, Baker? Do you think we'll make it there?
You know, I'd like to say yes, that would be great. We're right around where the first stop would have happened on the green stop, so look for the same strategy maybe to play out here for a one-stop race. I think they could run it all the way out, and that would be the best bet for the leaders. But look for people to maybe try and undercut as I'm cracking open a cold one.
And Vondell's rooting him on in the chat. He says, "Come on, I'll match if they are worth it or anything helps." We certainly appreciate the support, Vondell. Again, if you guys, by no means, hey, just everybody out here watching tonight is plenty enough. When you guys leave us super chats, whether it's $1 or in Mark's case, $25, it amps us up that much more. But nonetheless, again, shout out to everybody that's out here watching tonight. 33 viewers, we appreciate y'all, and hopefully you will stick around to the end because we're getting ready to go back green. Dustin Carruthers still looking for a win here in the PGR Intimidator Superspeedway Series. And in fact, Baker, I think KSR might be the team with the worst luck. They've got plenty of talent, but things have just not really worked out recently for them.
Yeah, I think they get stuck in the mid-pack. The qualifying effort, they have a couple that can. Thomas Parker, Stamper's usually pretty good at qualifying. So is Carruthers. The pace car's going to pull off, but they just get trapped in situations where they're not hooked up together as a team, and it really pays dividends to have teammates around you during this race to take care of each other. But it's good run here from Carruthers. We talked about him a couple weeks ago. Really wanted him to get that win, but McCullough, another one, doing great up here.
Telling you, KSR tonight could be their night. They've got the aggression to it. They've got the talent. They just need a little bit of luck on their side. We'll see if it does play out that way tonight. Green flag back in the air just like that. We are already at 25 laps to go at Talladega. Again, could see one more pit stop, but man, the racing has just been so aggressive up front. I don't look to see us make it that far. Michael Mata, as we talked about, there in the third position on the inside, pushing Joshua McCall. Andrew Navarro, Alex Hill, look for them to maybe go 3 wide right here, but Jason Maines and Kevin Freeze, if that middle opens up, you know they're going to try to fill the gap and try to stay in front of Alex Hill at all costs. And now the 10 of Dustin Carruthers, he makes the move to the inside. That gives Navarro the lead on the outside, and we stayed 2x2 through turns 3 and 4.
Absolutely, and with the bracket, it's an extra $100 to first, but you're already guaranteed $120. You're walking away with money at this point, so I'd be way more focused on the racing in my position, not where Jason is on the track. People can't be greedy sometimes. You see both lines get a little bit of squirrely, drop them all hand there, a little bit of an offset push, but we still keep it all together. 2 in a row here. Look for Merck to maybe jump through it. But like I was saying, I think focusing on the race one win is way more important than the positioning for this bracket.
Yeah, especially when the money payouts are as big as they are. In fact, before these guys get too crazy, let's talk about those payouts. Winner tonight, are we over 250 to first?
Looks like we're staying at 250 to first, but we're going 175 to second, 150 to third, 125 to fourth, 100 to fifth through seventh, and then eighth place getting $80.
Man, those are some big payouts. I'll tell you what, every single one of these guys that finishes... Oh, turn, Stamper! Talked about the bad luck, and it's going to continue here. The 30 truck down the pits. Doesn't look like this one collects as many. But, oh, man, the 30 truck involved in another one. That's actually sent a lot of them scrambling down the pits. But good news here is definitely didn't see a lot of trucks getting torn up in that one. Just another truck getting turned. There's Kenneth. Looks like he is going to bring it right into the pits. That's a smart call. In the sense of if you're already forced down there, might as well get yourself in your box, get any damage repaired, take tires. But let's back this up and take a look what happens to the 30 truck. I'm thinking he probably got turned right here. May have been a little right rear net code. Oh, that's kind of what it's looking like. It almost looks like from this view, the exact same position. Not position, but circumstance that happened to Jason and Ellis just a couple laps ago. Oh, man, that's heavy right rear net code. Boy, Kenneth wasn't even close to Merck when this happens. You see, Richard Elliott's not on his bumper. Kenneth's not on the bumper of John Ward in front of him. And just slight movement in the line, nothing crazy. There's probably a couple feet between those two trucks. And the net code just catches Kenneth and turns him right up through Merck, you know, nothing Merck could do, nothing Kenneth could do. Into the outside wall, Cody, man, you talk about awareness as a driver. I don't know how he was able to check up. JR kind of net codes through him, goes in a slide through the grass. Kenneth was able to keep it off the inside wall, and here's everybody else making evasive maneuvers, and somehow they all miss. Man, oh man, let's take a ride on board here with Kenneth, and you'll see it. Actually, we'll go to the, let's look at the right rear here. Should give you a better view of it. All right, now watch the 60 truck of Merck. They don't touch. Man, it's just, there's nothing we can do about it. It's the same position, and it's hurting the great racing that we see a lot of times. And in this case, same deal. Nothing you could do. But, and as Baker's mom just put in the chat, poor Merck, you are not kidding. Him and Kenneth both. They have had nothing but bad luck. It continues here tonight. Good news is, I don't know if it's going to be a fast repair worthy for Kenneth. It's unfortunate that it's in the fronts of the truck. That's definitely going to hurt him a little bit more than if it was anywhere else. I'm not sure if it's quite fast repair worthy. Baker, you got any thoughts on if it is?
Stamper, I think for sure is going to be a fast repair. Merck, I'm not so certain. His front end looks fine. Maybe he broke the toe link, but I don't think he has much damage on this truck besides the right side.
We'll take one more look at it here. Kenneth Stamper, there's the 30 truck. And yeah, Baker just, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, another just big right rear net code, nothing anybody could do.
Yeah, just another net code. I mean, a little bit of lane movement from Stamper, but it shouldn't cause anything. He saw him on the outside, so.
And that lane movement kind of natural, you know? We see it between all the guys, and a lot of times they get away with it, but just wrong place at the wrong time. Do have, nope, I take that back. I was going to say we had two trucks out for a minute, but I just realized that was the 41st and 42nd place. Heath Job is the last running truck right now. He qualified in on time, but he sits in 40th right now. I think he's trying to get a lap back right here. We'll see if he indeed does. Heath Job in the 760 graphics. Make sure you go check them out. Big supporter of Ghost Racing Network, but in general, they got a lot of cool paint schemes. Every truck you see that you probably like out here, there's a good chance it was painted by 760 graphics. Of course, Heath Job, the owner of it. Make sure you go check him out. He's got a Discord. If you need it, just let us know. All right, Baker still in territory for a green flag stop, but it's starting to look less and less likely as this restart should come with 20 laps to go, I believe. And at this point, it's in that spot where I think if you're anywhere in the front half of the field, you got to fight and claw for any track position you can get. If you're in the back half, I think we're going to see another wreck at some point.
Yeah, definitely. Still have one pit stop to go. The bad news is a lot of the big hitters are going to be coming from the back here. You got Dylan Basson, Garrett Maines, John Ellis, Cody Nagels, Jeff Merck, who has a clean truck now, Dylan Jones, Daniel Eberhardt. They're all going to be trying to fight to the front here.
And the thing that does is make cautions more likely because you got guys at the front. They see that cavalry coming, and they try anything in their power to get up in front of it and try to go to the front. Trevor Oswornoth currently sits in 17th. He is up currently 7 from where he started. One of the KSR guys. Him and Dustin Carruthers still trying to hold down the fort. after they saw their teammate get collected in that last wreck, not of his doing. Dustin's up 13 right now from where he started. He still sits in your top 5. Alex Hill now leading the bracket battle as Jason Maines is currently being scored in 10th. So finally, maybe just a slight bit of breathing room, but, you know, 2 or 3 rows here at Super Speedways, that is not much of a gap. So I definitely don't think he can really feel too comfortable. Joshua Watson, the 01's got some damage on the side, but it's not too much, so he's going to hold off on taking his one fast repair yet. Rest of the field catching up with the 1 to go signal. And in fact, your top 5 as they run is Joshua Robinson leading, Bradley Steffen in 2nd, Andrew Navarro 3rd, Alex Hill in 4th, and John Mullahan from McCall Motorsports currently up 17 from where he started in 5th.
New guy up here leading the line, Joshua Robinson. Good to see him out here. I don't know what strategy he's on. Doesn't look like he pit. But again, everyone has to have one stop. He may be taking some more fuel, but that's okay.
He might be thinking that we're going to have some more cautions. And that's not a bad call, because we see these things get crazy towards the end, Baker. But, you know, 2 of the wrecks that we have had here tonight, again, only 3 cautions, not terrible. But 2 of those 3 wrecks that we've had tonight have been severe net code. Nothing of any of the drivers doing. In fact, I've thought everybody has done a pretty good job tonight with looking clean. So hopefully they can keep it that way right here as we get ready to go back green. Robinson on the inside, Steffen on the outside. How long will the big dog stick with him? Green flag is back in the air. It's a good jump for Bradley Steffen, but a better push on the inside from Andrew Navarro. And Bradley's got to be careful here, Baker. He's washing up. Yep, knew that was coming. Alex is going to split him. Easy, boys, and they're going to keep it together. The 89, I don't think, liked that he got split, but he left the lane open, and he's going to learn a hard lesson on that one.
Dropping all the way to the back. That's a classic Sean Hill move there. If there's a gap there, he's filling it with the truck, but you're gonna see Joshua Robinson, if he can maintain up front here, at least stay in this top 5 rows, if he can hang or not. But he looks like he's doing pretty well, holding his own.
Well, everything's all fine and dandy that first lap. Everyone's getting up to speed, but now Navarro's going to start putting the pressure on his back bumper. That's where you start to worry about things a little bit. I think he's got a handle. I agree with you, but let's take a ride on board here and show you just what kind of pushing he's getting here. Holds a nice steady wheel. The trial will always talk about sketchiest place here at Talladega. Well, one of them, of course, when the truck unloads. There you go. There's the moment right there. I was going to say bumps towards the exit of the trial, and if you get, oh, we got one off. It's a 16 truck, and everybody's still trying to hang it. Oh, we got one turn. Big hit for the 10 of Dustin Carruthers. Up the track, now the 58 plows in. Upside down goes the 10. Down the bank, and he goes. And 4th caution of the night falls on lap 19. And Dustin Carruthers, I don't know if that truck is still running. It's not. He's going to have to tow it. And, man, another KSR guy out. Involved in a wreck that he... I don't know. Let's see what happens here. Go up to Dustin. We had one turned on the inside. It looks like it might have been the 16 of Michael Mata, but that wasn't what's going to cause the caution here. In fact, that might have been for the best for him that he got turned there. Dustin's on the outside. He's pushing Alex Hill. Everything looks fine here. And, ooh, the 77 starts to get offset. I'm thinking that means Dustin had to check up a little bit. And then looks like he gets kind of turned. And then who was behind him? Joshua McCall comes down a little bit, and guess what? You guessed it, some more right rear net code when he came down. One of those ones where, again, you know, maybe it was a wreck, but I think everybody holds it together here. But watch the 05 right here. He's not going to touch him. Doesn't touch him. Looks like he actually got straight, but then the right rear net code catches the 10. Puts him up on the windshield of Joshua McCall, and then some more guys here. The 58 up into the 10. That pinches him against the wall, flips him over. The 8 of Dylan Basson slides in. The 41 of Jeremy Osborne for Blind Squirrel Racing with nowhere to go. Let's take a couple more looks at it here.
Yeah, just, I mean, it looks like it's a little bit of an offset push on Carruthers end to Hill. He's expecting Hill to clear down, but, you know, I'm not blaming Hill for not clearing down. He doesn't know this Joshua Robinson guy. He doesn't know how he can push or how he can handle himself up front. No offense to him, but, you know, he's just never been out here before. You got to build that trust, and he knows Dustin can push well, and Dustin just gets a little bit offset. He's got help from behind, but McCullough isn't shoving through him necessarily, and it gets offset push with Hill, and once that happens, it just... the checkup happens in the top lane, and Josh has nowhere to go. Turns Dustin right in the outside wall.
And that flip was just kind of insult to injury for him. I believe Dustin has a faster pair, but don't quote me on that. Hoping he does, so we can see him out here.
Too, so he's definitely going to have to tow.
And that is probably going to be at least a lap loss, man. Tell you what, Baker, they need to lower the tow bills here at tracks like Talladega and Daytona because you're guaranteed to lose at least 1, if not 2 laps sometimes. And I think it goes by how close you are to the start-finish line on how long it is. And in this case, they were only in turn 1 and 2, so it's going to be an expensive one. That is for sure. John Mullihan being scored as your leader. Michael Mata, we just talked about him. He was the guy that went off, but he didn't get involved in that wreck even with that, so he is now 2nd. Ken McCall Jr. 3rd. Garrett Maines in 4th. Vicente Guerrero 5th. Jeff Merkin 6th. Alex Hill 7th. Andrew Navarro 8th. Jason Maines in 9th. And Kevin Freeze rounding out your top 10. And I think we're in that fuel window, Baker.
Oh, we're in it now. I mean, the people that stayed up front here, not so sure what their thought is. Maybe their thought is track position. Garrett Maines, Kenneth McCullough, Michael Mata. But, yeah, that's... they got to really save some fuel here to try and make it to the end.
They might be expecting a couple more cautions. I mean, you can't blame them for the strategy with the cautions that we've seen so far here tonight. There's Jeff Merck. Even after all the chaos he's been through tonight, he's still up here with a good run in 6th. And he's still got, looks like a half smile on his face. He still seems to be enjoying himself out here tonight. He's hoping his luck can turn around a little bit. Certainly would make that smile a lot bigger. Alex Hill, his teammate, going to be behind him. Andrew Navarro in 8th. There's Jason Maines, just a couple rows behind Alex Hill, the man he's racing for the bracket challenge. We will be making sure we keep an eye on those for the last lap because they are going to be going crazy for it. And you get a couple bragging rights, too, with that. I mean, we know that the money's obviously the main reason, but everybody knows that they get to brag a little bit about if they get the bracket challenge. Hey, I beat all these guys. I won the tournament. Might as well call them the best of the best, at least for a little while. Daniel Eberhardt in 11th. Currently up 12th from where he started. I'm sure we'll see him at the front at some point. There's John Ward. 12th, Richard Elliott. Still in this thing. Looks like his truck's still nice and clean after that fast pair that he had to take. Up 19 from where he started in 13th. And he's probably looking for his teammate right now in Joshua Watson. And it looks like Joshua right now, Robinson had fell back. We saw that, but Joshua Watson, I am not seeing right now here. Give me just a minute. I wonder if he had an issue. There he is. I was wondering why we couldn't see him for a minute. He is in 16th right now. So actually, I think he might be the row behind his teammate. Nope. 2 rows behind his teammate. Cody Nagel separating him. And how about Jacob Emery in the field tonight? We've seen him do a couple broadcasts. Race Day Live. Make sure you go check him out. I believe he might also be live on Twitch at Emery Time. Broadcaster racer combo. He's got it going on, and he's got plenty of talent. See if he can make his way into a money position tonight. All right, Baker, 16 to go. Man, I like to say things, maybe we calm down, but I think they just get more chaotic from here.
I think it's going to be...
And I'm not sure if Baker might have...
Sorry, I had to talk at his race control there. Yeah, so... What were we talking about? Man, I lost my train of thought.
No worries. We're talking about 16 to go. I was going to say, maybe it calms down from here, but I'm not thinking so. I think he gets only more aggressive.
Yeah, it's just going to be aggression here. The people up front need to save a little bit of fuel, but, they're looking for people to probably fall off the pace here, getting the wrecks towards the mid-packs. That way they'd be fine.
Well, you know what? I think the guys in the back are saying, you know what? If you want to save fuel, then you can go ahead and go to the back. We're good to go. Let's go to the front. And they're going to be pushing hard, so I just don't think you can really save fuel up front. And if you have any thoughts about sitting back or anything like that to save fuel, you can end up causing a wreck, and you'll probably be involved. So I think this is a scenario where everybody just has to kind of push. Maybe the guys up front are hoping for that caution if they don't get it. And somehow we make it green to the end here. Maybe their strategy doesn't work out, and we see another underdog winner. We'll have to find out, and that's what we are getting ready to do. Mullihan and Michael Mata leading up to green, and you know what we haven't got in a little while? Crank It Up segment. How about we get one here tonight? Here we go. All right, it's going to do it for tonight's segment of Crank It Up. Me and Baker just couldn't hold out any longer because they are getting crazy up here. They might not be 3 wide right now, but they were a couple times. But the lane switching up front is what got us really nervous. We saw a couple of big fishtails out of the one truck at Garrett Maines when he was getting pushed by John Mullahan. But now Jeff Merck finds himself in the lead. What else can he do? He's in the safest position right now. All he can do is hope for the best. But Andrew Navarro with a big push from Kevin Freese down the backstretch. It's not enough to get clear, and he's going to have to stay on that outside just a little bit longer. Here comes Cody Nagels on the outside of John Ellis Jr. trying to get a run going. Oh, and just as Richard Elliott was going to jump up to go with him, he blinked. And then Richard Elliott said, no, thank you. I'm going to hop back down here and pick up my teammate instead.
Merck hops up to the top lane. Kevin Freese getting a little bit hot. They're going to try and keep Cycling Tips take care of each other up front here. You know Garrett's got to save fuel, so he's going to want Merck back down to the inside, but he can't get clear.
And maybe Merck knows that, and he's going to stay to the high side. I don't know. We'll have to see how it pans out. Now Cody's got some help from the 2 JBR E-Racing drivers along with Jacob Emery. They've got about 4 trucks on the top line. It's just a matter of time before they get to the front. We'll see if anybody decides to hop up and join them. Jason Maines is the man I would look to be that guy, but so far he's not taking anything yet. He's thinking about it into turn 3, waiting for Cody Nagels to maybe get there. Cody still doesn't quite have the run yet. Oh, man, we got sliding up to the middle of the pack. Alex Hill, he's got to try to find a way back to the front, and if you are looking to get back to the front, that's the man to follow. I'll tell you what, he is coming from the back to the front in these races probably more than anybody, as the third lane is going to fade out. Now that Cody has found his teammate, he jumps right back down in line. Michael Triscaro behind them. Back to the top. Now NBG with 2 guys leading the top. And I think they're making their way to the front as Andrew Navarro leads on the bottom. And Kevin Freese, already with multiple PGR wins, he's looking to add to that list here tonight on the outside.
As you see Andrew Navarro jump up top, Merck follows him just a tad, but he gets back down in line. Kevin Freese may get a clear to the bottom here, but he stays in line. Garrett giving a good push. Jason Maines jumps up high with Ellis. Now Maines are leading the top line. Andrew Navarro drops down to the bottom line. You got Kevin Freese leading the middle line with his teammate behind him and Dylan Jones. Only 2 trucks there on the outside. Cody's going to hop up. Sean may need to hop up. He's going to try and get back to the front to get in that bracket challenge, get in front of Jason.
And you know what I'm just noticing, Baker? We talked about track temp for the LCQ starting at 108. We are up to 125 as of right now, so that could explain why these guys are getting so hot. That is a toasty track, to say the least. Speeds are still high, though, at 191, down into turn 1, but, man, that was a big moment for the inside line. A couple guys got out of shape. Everybody gathers it back up, and now Navarro's going to jump to the high side. How long does Kevin Freese let him keep doing that before they split him eventually?
I mean, you know, I think they're in the best position right now. They have 3 teammates in the money positions, and there's not much difference in between. It's only $25 to $50 difference in between second through about 7th. So look for them to just kind of relax. They know they're in a good spot right now. They're trying to get their teammates up there 3 wide. Once that happens, look for Kevin and Dylan to maybe bail on Andrew to try and control. That's the time I would see it to happen. But they really don't have any help in that third lane. See Sean Hill trying to hop up there to get towards Ellis to try and get in front of Garrett or Jason.
And I don't think Bradley was really wanting to let Alex up there, but Alex said, I'm coming up anyway. Once these probably 5 or 6 can get to those 2 of Jason Maines and John Ellis Jr., they're going to have a lot of momentum. And Daniel Eberhardt talked about he'd find his way to the front sooner or later. He has done that now, 3rd in the middle lane. You know he will jump up as soon as the momentum gets there. He wants to be in the front. Don't know if he really has any teammates. We've seen him kind of working with the Maines group, the McCall group. Not really sure, but he didn't jump up Baker, and maybe that was because that third lane got so much momentum so quick. And here comes Jason Maines on the top. We are about to see the Maines boys leading the top. Navarro in the middle, and Jeff Merck for NBG on the bottom as we come to 8 laps to go at Talladega.
Navarro doing a great job controlling the lanes, the middle and the bottom. Look for him to maybe jump low here. He's not going to. Kevin's going to get clear to the bottom. He has got to be boiling on temps. He'll probably clear down with Andrew if he can, but he's going to keep rolling that lane, and Dylan's going to clear to the bottom. Great move there. Kevin is left out to dry by his own teammate, but that was definitely by design. He called him down there. He knows Dylan is now leading that line. You have 2 of the 3 lines being led by the Maines boys.
Man, 3 wide, a lot of lane swapping going on, but everybody's still looking pretty comfortable. Again, you talked about fuel, Baker, here. It's starting to look a little bit more concerning for some of these guys, depending on how this thing finishes up. What do you do if you're in the middle of this pack? You're not good to go on fuel, and you got to bail on one of these last laps.
Yeah, I think Garrett is probably really max saving now. He's not really pushing the issue on the bottom lane. That just tells me that he's saving fuel. Malahan doing the same thing, so is Kenneth McCullough. So they're just happy to have the track position that they have right now because they know if a caution comes out, they can save to the end.
And we got a couple guys, call them stragglers, out back right now that are not with the main pack. But for the most part, just about everybody that was starting this race is still in this big pack. We got lappers mixed in. Richard Elliott and Joshua Watson got separated, but they are both on that third lane. Haven't seen anybody dare to try 4 wide yet so far in the feature, but considering we saw it in the LCQ, I would say it's certainly a possibility. And all of a sudden, the top line has faded. John Ward and Alex Hill both jumped up there, and since Jason Maines and John Ellis Jr. just have not been able to keep up the momentum that they once had, I think they're going to get it back going, though, here off of turn 4. Navarro still leads the middle. Jones on the bottom, and everybody out back just continuing to try to find positions, but it's just starting to kind of become a gridlock on the bottom and middle lines. Top seems to be the only place to really make any gains left.
And temperature is being reported really high right now. You see Kevin Freeze gets cleared to the bottom. He's going to maybe cooking over under, but he doesn't. He stays in line with Dylan. He knows Merck is really hot on temps, trying to support that bottom line and just keep that momentum going. But that is going to it's going to kill the bottom line. Both the middle and the top line are going to clear. Oh, Ward's cleared in the middle. Great move. Great push by MBG, supported by the mains poise of Jason, giving the shove to his competitor, Sean Hill.
McCall Motorsports may not have their whole team up there, but they got one of their teammates leading it right now. John Ward in the middle, Alex Hill still up top, and right now, think about this. You know, I know we still got a ways to go, but if we come down to the last lap here, Jason Maines, he might want to stay where he's at, right behind Alex Hill. He's got a teammate behind him, and he might try to split that 77 4 wide through the trial on the last lap. We'll have to see, but it is now 5 laps to go. Going to be 4 when we cross the line next time. And it's a while to go, but if we can make it to the white flag, this race will be official. Big checkup for Eberhard. Not sure if he got loose or side drafted back, but that is really going to hurt the middle here. Big charge out of the inside line now. Kevin Freeze back to the point.
Jason Maines trying to get some air to that nose. As you see, Kevin Freeze clears up. You've got the mains boys controlling both lines, and you've got Sean Hill fading back in the third lane. That's going to give the opportunity for Navarro and for, oh man, Eberhardt may look to go 3 wide here. Look for that move. And Gabe Butler and Cody Nagels. Oh man, here comes MPG to the top side.
Cody in front of his teammate. That is probably going to help Alex out quite a bit. John Ward still pushing Kevin Freeze. Oh, he's going to throw a block to the bottom. Nice move by John Ward to hold off Andrew Navarro. We got one turned on the bottom. Merck, I think he blew it.
Yeah,
he might have blown an engine. Oh, they're going to wreck out back. 1 up the track. Jeremy Osborne, 2. Slide back down. That is going to bring the caution out as 2 trucks go sliding into the grass. And, yep, sure enough, the bad luck going to continue. But that one maybe a little bit more controlled luck in the sense of Merck blowing an engine. Tough when you're in the middle of a pack with temps these hot. And once it blinks, it could blow up when it gets really hot or as soon as it starts to blink. So it just depends. And Merck may have got unlucky in that sense. But let's go back and take a look. Not going to be too much to break down for this one. Fortunately, Jeff Merck, he doesn't have a fast spray left, Bakers. This is going to end his night. But you saw the puff of smoke as they entered turn 1. That was the signal that the engine expired. And he did a pretty good job getting out of the way. And everybody did a pretty good job of missing him. Watch down into turn 1 here. Boom, there it goes. You hear the motor blow up. And then just a big stack up behind. Eventually, looks like Jeremy Osborne and David Sheets. Sheets got turned, saved it, and then Osborne got turned into Sheets. And that is what eventually slid those 2 up the track. Contact didn't look to be too severe for either of these guys. Let's take another view. Actually, I take that back. It's a pretty good tank slapper to the right side, especially for David Sheets. Might be a fast spare if either of them have one left. And I believe this is going to put us into our first overtime. The guys that were close on fuel, they really wanted to see that. Well, actually, I don't know, because putting us into overtime might hurt them, but at the same time, they can save a lot more fuel here under caution than they could under green. Let's take one more view of it here from the cockpit of David Sheets. Watch a big stack up. There's one. Man, I don't know how David saves it initially, but then gets turned. Just nothing he could do. And then I think he got tagged on the bottom there. I couldn't tell who that was. So you got John Ward now leading the field, Andrew Navarro in second, Kevin Freese third, Dylan Jones in fourth, Daniel Eberhardt in fifth, Cody Nagel sixth, Gabe Butler seventh, Christian Sanford in eighth, Alex Hill ninth, Michael Triscaro in 10th, Garrett Maines 11th, Ryan Bass 12th, and Jason Maines currently rounding out your top 13. Let's tell you what, we're going to take a quick break here as they get lined up. And actually, do they have want to go signal? I think they do. Yeah, sure. Nope, they don't. So we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll see if we can get a quick word from Jason Maines. Stick with us.
Ghost Racing Network now has merch. Go to grnmerch.com to browse our selections from stickers to custom-made by-request hoodies and shirts. If you've ever wanted to support Ghost Racing Network outside of YouTube, here's your chance. Ghost Racing Network, for the scary side of iRacing.
Front, now we're going to see a little four-wide action.
Crazy out of the triangle.
Oh, he gets over it in the lead under record.
3x3 entering four.
3-2.
At the flag stand, side by side, it's going to be Jason Maines winning it at Talladega.
All right, back live at Talladega Superspeedway. We got Jason Maines here up in the booth, and I believe Baker's standing by with him.
Hey, Jason, it's awesome. Matt up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, you've been battling Sean for this bracket championship the whole race. It's been fun to watch. How are you going to get it done here, trying to get your team in the victory lane? What's more important, you getting that bracket win, or you guys getting that win?
It really doesn't matter to me. Honestly, I'd forgotten all about the bracket thing so until Triscaro said something. So we'll just see how it plays out here.
Well, you've been running a clean race. It's exciting to watch you guys. Hopefully you guys get it done here on this green white checkered.
Yep, I appreciate it. I hope so.
Thanks for talking to us.
All right.
And I'll tell you what, Baker, if he forgot about that, I don't know how, because that's a lot of money. Hey, if he doesn't want it, I'll certainly take it. But nonetheless, we'll see if he can get it here tonight. Sometimes not knowing about certain things can work out the best. So we'll see if that's his case. So correct me if I'm wrong here, Baker, but this is our first green-white checkered. We do have 3, and as the new rule goes, if we get to that third green-white checker, which we unfortunately did last week, then we will hopefully finish it off under green unless they wreck in the money positions. But hopefully we don't even have to talk about that. Hopefully we can make it to the white flag here, and then if these guys, for whatever reason, want to take all of each other out, then by all means go ahead. But we'd like to see a great clean finish, and we would like to see who's going to win this thing. John Ward, he's got a couple of wins. Could add to that. Kevin Freese. Andrew Navarro looking for his first win here in the PGR Thursday Night Heat Series. Gabe Butler, third on the outside. Could he get Dale Cup their first win here tonight? Who do you get your money on here, Baker?
I mean, look who's sitting in the 7th position. You got Christian Sanford. He won the LCQ, ran his good race, won last week off of that crazy wreck. And I think it's a name that we need to start paying attention to, or at least we need to start talking a little bit more about. I know he's been out of the scene for about a year, but man, he has came back and not missed a stride. With an update to this truck, and he still is out here racing like a veteran.
Going a little bit further towards the back here, Jeremy Osborne, William Scott. Looks like they're going to be rounding out the field. Got one more truck behind. And then towards the middle of the pack, Joshua Watson, Richard Elliott. Keep an eye. John Ellis Jr., Jason Maines, Garrett Maines. Those 3 guys all kind of there as a trio. You know they're going to get lined up and get together in that third line pretty quick. But they're only going to have 2 laps to make it work. And I'm telling you, Baker, I've been trying a couple times. It's so hard. If you get that third lane going just a little bit too early, it can ruin you for 2 to 3 laps. So they're going to have to time it perfectly. Here we go. Green flag is back in the air. Overtime number 1 at Talladega. Who's going home with $250 tonight? John Ward with a good start. He's going to jump to the high lane immediately. Now he tries to control the draft. Back to the bottom he goes. Sanford blinking right now, but Gabe Butler didn't get the best jump either, so it's a 3-on-2 battle down into turn 1.
I think that is by design. I think you're going to see Gabe Butler. Oh, as you see Stanford fill that gap. He was going to try and go 3 wide, get that run really moving. Stanford's almost going to get turned. Butler back down to the inside. The bottom line is absolutely killed here. This is a crazy restart going on.
Yeah, not a lot of organization. Just looks like a big mess, especially when you get mid-pack on back. Sanford maybe a little too aggressive of a move, and that's going to get him stuck on the top. He is waiting to see if he's going to get some help, but Jason's going to bail right to the bottom and leave him out to dry as everyone else will follow. And as we get lined up, back 2 wide for the first 10 rows. We got one slide down the pits, but we are going to make it to the white flag. One more time around Talladega. Who is going to win it? Navarro on the outside, John Ward on the inside. Here comes Cody Nagels and Alex Hill up top. Jason Main still looking for the bracket win as well. He sits a couple rows behind.
Oh, is Triscaro's going to turn? Who was that? Ryan Bass in the outside wall. That's going to lose all the help on the outside line.
Jason Main's trying to get a big draft here, but he sees Alex Hill on that third lane, making a lot of progress. He really needs to get a big draft. Gabe Butler gets turned up into the wall. Jason dodges it, but that gives him enough damage to where he is not going to have a chance at the front. They're going to have to wreck if he wants to steal the bracket challenge. Speaking of wreck, they're wrecking big out back, but up front, we still got 7 trucks in the mix. Off of turn 4 for the final time. In the middle, it's Navarro looking for his first win, but on the bottom, it's John Ward. Big push for Dylan Jones. It's going to be a drag race all the way to the start finish line. Who is going to win it? John Ward on the bottom wins it. What a finish, and he's going to add to his wins list, and Alex Hill takes home the bracket challenge for the PGR Thursday Night Heat Series.
Wow, what a finish. Great push from Kevin. Had no help there on the bottom line. I can't believe that. If Everhart hops to the bottom, I think Kevin clears to the middle line as well. I mean, that is unbelievable.
Kevin Free is going to give him a little congratulations. And Alex Hill sending it up to the inside wall. He's a happy man, too. Going home with plenty of money himself. Getting in the money position. Then, of course, winning that bracket challenge. Now, quick note on Alex Hill. He will be suspended next week, so you will not see him for an incident involving him this last week, in the PGR Intimidator Superspeedway Series. Well, Thursday Night Heat Series. So you won't see him next week, but I don't think he cares too much as of right now. He's a happy fellow. And so is this guy right here. John Ward felt like he was due for one. Wasn't happy that he could be in the Wednesday race. But he is going home with $250 here tonight. You talk about making a lot of money, over 12 times what he paid to enter this race. He's going to do a little burnout for us here tonight. McCall Motorsports back in victory lane. This is good momentum for their team as well. They needed this here in the PGR Series. Been having some bad luck, but they're going to change that around tonight with John Ward getting the win. We are going to go get your top 3 for interviews. We'll be right back. Back live at Talladega Superspeedway. Got your top 3 in for interviews. And we're going to start with your 3rd place finisher, Kevin Freeze, Kevin Austin, and Matthew up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, how are you guys doing tonight?
Good, great run tonight. You got multiple wins here in the PGR, Thursday Night Heat Series. Thought maybe you'd add another one here tonight. Not quite enough, but overall, great finish in 3rd place. Tell us about your night.
Yeah, I tried to stay up front and stay clean the whole race. I mean, with what was happening mid-pack, that was the place to be up front there. Just trying to figure out that final time when we wanted to pit in terms of the cautions, the way they were falling, and then just not worrying about how short we were. And yeah, it was a good run there. I thought that John and I definitely would have dropped at the end when it was just us on the bottom, but somehow we were able to maintain and then get that run there off of 4. I was pretty surprised actually with that ending.
Well, we weren't surprised with your finish at all. Another great run for you. Before we let you go tonight, is there anyone you'd like to thank or shout out?
Yeah, thanks to all the boys who were racing tonight, Garrett, Jason, and John. I know they got caught up in that early mess, which really set them back. And then Jason there, unfortunately, had that incident coming to the end. The way the cautions fell, he just lost a little bit of track position and tried to get him back up there for that good old bracket challenge. But absolutely, hats off John Ward tonight. He did a great job. Andrew as well, all race, staying up front, doing what he had to do because it was really hard managing temperatures. So they were, Andrew was doing a good job working the lanes back and forth there, especially for that middle section of the race.
All right. Congrats on the 3rd place finish, Kevin. Thanks for talking to us, and hopefully we'll see you again next Thursday.
All right. Thank you, guys. I'll enjoy the broadcast later tonight.
Sounds like a plan. All right. Going to bring in now your 2nd place finisher, Andrew Navarro. Matthew Baker stands by with him.
Hey, Andrew, it's Matt and Austin up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah.
Well, a great run for you. As soon as you got up front, you didn't really leave. Talk to me through how you wanted to work that race and maintain your position up front.
Yeah, I just wanted to be one of the either second car in line or the leader, considering everybody was getting really hot really quick with the ambient temp being up. So felt pretty good when I was out front, and then I thought I had it there at the in the tri-oval. I saw 2 cars down there. I was like, "There's no way that they're going to be able to push past me." I was wrong, but I'm still happy to finish 2nd.
Well, I mean, a great run for you nonetheless. You don't really have any teammates out here, but you make a friend in every single team that you race with or race against, should I say? But who would you like to thank? Shout out some sponsors. Anyone you want to thank for tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Martin Sports, Celebrity Cruises, Premier Racing, 7 Seas, Dylan and Daniel for sticking with me there. Trying to think about who else, but I think that's all. You guys, obviously, for broadcasting, and Michael for putting on the league.
Well, thanks for talking to us, Andrew. I know we'll see you next week. Hope we see you in Victory Lane.
See you.
And that's going to bring us now into Victory Lane with your winner, John Ward. John, you got a copy? We'll give him just a second here to get his stuff set up.
All right.
And it sounds like we got him. John, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, well, you bring McCall Motorsports back to Victory Lane in a big way here. $250 is going to be your prize tonight. Man, I'll tell you what, we saw you make your way to the front there towards the end, but tell us how aggressive you had to be to maintain that position with all the opposing teams you had around you, and how you decided on that move to stick with the inside on the last lap.
Yep. I knew it was coming down the laps, and they were getting warm, and I knew I had to get to the outside, and I seen Alex. He was wanting to go, and he gave me a good run to the top, and I got clear. He said, take it if you get clear, so I got clear, and they went to wrecking after that. And the green-white, I knew I had no teammates around me, so I was nervous, and I didn't know what to do, actually, so I decided if I was going to get clear to go up, and I kind of jumped the start a little bit and helped the momentum to keep the bottom cold just because he had to push. But I just wanted to secure myself on the bottom. I know we didn't have no help for a little bit, but it happened. Kevin stayed with me there. I guess he had no choice, but it worked out for us. Luckily, we got the white and come back around and got the win.
Well, you see differing strategies for these. Do you start to lean more towards the conservative early, aggressive later, or does it just go from the start in these kind of races?
It's kind of at halfway. You got to be towards the front at halfway. It seems like in these, as long as I've been running, as long as you can get to the front about halfway, and you'll be pretty good if you don't get wrecked from there. But I try to put my position halfway, and seem to work out for me there.
You look good at the end here tonight. Before we let you go, is there anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, my team, even though they wasn't there at the end, they always support me and help me out anytime I need any pointers or anything. And BB for helping me out. He's a good guy. And you guys for putting this on. And Michael Triscardo mainly. He's the guy that put all this together. So thank you guys for letting me come aboard and racing.
Well, thanks for talking to us, John, and congrats on the win tonight. We'll see you next Thursday.
You got it. Anytime I talk to you guys up here, it's a good night. So you guys have a good one.
You too, certainly is. All right. It's going to finish us off. Looking at your results, we talked to your top three. John Ward wins it, Navarro second, and Kevin Freeze in third. Dylan Jones finishes fourth. It's going to be Cody Nagels for NBG rounding out your top five. Daniel Eberhardt in sixth. Alex Hill seventh. Bradley Steffen in eighth. Jamie Rourke sneaking in the top 10 and ninth. And Richard Elliott rounding out your top 10.
Ken Stanford in 11th. Good recovery after that early wreck. Joshua Watson in 12th. Garrett Maines 13th. Michael Mata in 14th. Joshua McCullough in 15th, Ryan Baste in 16th, Kenneth McCullough Jr. in 17th, Nashville Brambilla in 18th, John Mollahan in 19th, and Cody Ashley in 20th.
It's going to be Joshua Robinson in 21st, Jeremy Osborne 22nd, Joey Deschette 23rd, Michael Triscaro 24th, David Sheets in 25th, Trevor Osbornoff 26th, Christian Stanford in 27th, Gabe Butler 28th, Jason Maines in 29th, and Mike Davenport rounding out your top 30.
31st, you're going to have J.R. Miller, 32nd, Vicente Guerrero in that late race accident, John Ellis in 33rd, Jacob Emery in 34th, Dylan Basson in 35th, William H. Scott 36th, Heath Jill 37th, Burke with the unfortunate luck in 38th, 39th, Dustin Carruthers, and 40th, DJ Thomas.
That is going to finish our field off here for tonight. Well, Baker, I'll tell you what, I know we had some cautions, but it was a mix of net code and some issues with the driving. But overall, I thought the racing wasn't too bad tonight, and the ending was certainly phenomenal. Glad to see John get back in victory lane. Good to see Navarro with a good run. And congrats again to Alex Hill on winning the bracket challenge over Jason Maines. I'm excited for next week.
Yeah, definitely excited for next week. We had 60 trucks out here tonight. A great race by everyone up there in the top, 20 or so. There was a little bit of wrecking that was going on, but, most of them were netcode. It wasn't really anyone's fault, and glad to see a really clean finish there at the end.
And that should just about wrap us up here for the night. Again, big shout out to Mark Vondell for the $25 super chat, and also to Tucker McClendon for the $10 super chat. We appreciate you guys a ton. Glad to see you in here tonight. And again, thank you so much for the super chats. We will see you guys all next week. Until then.